is now, excuse me, open. A little sick here. Will everyone please stand up for the, no, the call, no, I'm sorry. Pledge of Allegiance, no, this call. Oh, yes, Pledge of Allegiance. You will have to forgive me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I kept saying, you'll have to forgive me. I kept reading roll call instead of call to order. So at this time, we will have roll call.
Yolanda Lopez,
Present.
Gerald Trueheart, absent. Jean Bowie, absent. Denise Johnson,
Present.
Austin Edwards,
Present.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Present.
Addie Daniels Lane,
Present.
Sasa Montagna,
Present.
Larry Trailer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Sunshine Law. The New Jersey Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right to the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted on. On the rules of this act, the Trenton Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting by publicizing the date, time, and place, therefore posted on the webpage, the Times, and the Star Ledger. Formal action will take place at this meeting. Our mission statements. All students will graduate with a vision for their future, motivated to learn continually and prepared to succeed in their choice of college or career. I am going to ask for a motion to adopt the agenda with the following addendum. From Human Resources on new hires, new hire rescind, reassignment transfer, salary adjustments, and stipends. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Yolanda Lopez,
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart, absent. Jean Bowie, absent. Denise Johnson,
Yes.
Austin Edwards,
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Yes.
Addie Daniels Lane,
Yes.
Sasa Montagna.
Yes.
Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed with addendum.
Tonight we have a really special presentation from our children over at Thomas Jefferson, but I am going to have our superintendent first give us his remarks and introduce them.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Jefferson Superstars. Glad you're here. We're so excited this evening to have two groups, our band and our choir here this evening to perform for us and to share. Thank you for all the parents who came out today in support of the awesome opportunity for our young people to be with us. So first, we will have our band. I need you, just as a point of note, these are first-year instrumental students, so we're excited about building our pipeline. Yes. And they've been playing since the beginning of school. So under the direction of Marissa Grasso. Marissa, raise your hand. Thank you. We are so excited to have a mixture of fourth graders, fifth graders, and sixth graders to join us for the Jefferson Intermediate School Band performing, because of all the snow and the spirit, Jingle Bells.
Okay. And they have on their Jefferson shirts. Very nice. Yes. Woo!
We'll give them a minute. I think we need a new setup. I think this group is standing. The choir will stand. So we'll move a few things, make some space. Next, we have our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders from Jefferson Choir. Under the direction of Mr. Steve Murdian, performing Do They Know Christmas? The snow got everyone back in the spirit of singing holiday songs. How about that? Thank you so much. Congratulations. And I want to thank Principal Ramcharan. We appreciate you and your team coming out to join us this evening. What a great way to always start a meeting for our students to share their success. It's really exciting. We will continue with the agenda. Just a few more comments. Just a notice to the public. Just wanted to share some information about a new thing going on in district. So we were recently, the district was contacted by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, recently around late November, early December, and they asked about sampling the soil. We were informed that they have been to hundreds of residents in the nearing area, near Grant and near McKnight, Grant Intermediate School and McKnight Elementary School, sampling soil as a result of old pottery factories in the area. They're trying to get a reading on potential lead contamination on the soil. The district, just as a point of note, the district is required each year to do lead sampling in water, but we don't do it outside in the soil. So when we were contacted and asked if we would join this effort, we understood that they have sampled close to 150 homes in their sites, and they go about 2 feet below, bring the soil up, and then they run tests. So we're waiting on results right now for the test at Grant and at McKnight. But when the district tests the water, we are up to date on our testing and have shared that information and with the public. So I just want you to know this is something new that came our way, and we agreed to allow the public, the EPA, to sample our soil, and we're waiting to hear back from them. So a couple of things can happen. We'll be meeting over the next few weeks. We hope to get the results soon to kind of hear about what's happening in our soil in those locations. If for any reason there's a need to take action, they take a few actions. One is they mitigate or remove. One is they come in and they call it separation. They separate the students from the soil, depending on the nature, the density of any type of lead. If there's nothing, they don't do anything. But once we know, we'll take action on those 2 sites. The site that's most impacted is Grant Intermediate School in the back where the big playground is. And so we don't know any more than that. And then there's a small space at McKnight. So we're waiting to hear about that. And at that time, we'll make decisions about what will take place next. So I just wanted you to know as we get into that work, we are up to date on all of our testing in all of our schools. This is an effort that's taking place around the city. Some of you listening or in this room may have had your soil sample, and we're grateful to be in this process to make sure everyone's safe. So we look forward to working with the EPA, the mayor's office, and this board about next steps in that process. With that being said, we have a presentation this evening. We're beginning a presentation. We want to do a series, one every other board meeting, where we come on and for about 10, 15 minutes, we want to share the work that we're doing with our partners, some of the service work, some of the resources out there. Today, we're talking about Mercer Street Friends. In the future, we'll be talking about other organizations that work with us, provide supports to our children, to our schools. So we're excited. Dr. Rodriguez is going to lead this effort. And the purpose around this is we talk so often about all that we do. And I know we're doing our series on community conversations, but this is another way to share with the community what we actually do when we say we're connecting with the community, how we do that, and then how do we grow that long term. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rodriguez, who will share a quick presentation about, and we have partners here with us from Mercer Street Friends that can just share a little bit about what they do and services they provide to our students. Thank you.
Good evening. President Marrero Lopez, members of the board, Superintendent Earl, members of the public. Tonight I would like to speak about one of our amazing partners, Mercer Street Friends, and I'm joined by the Director of Community Schools, Bernadette Trapp, this evening. Like Mr. Earl said, and like we hear that quote, it does take a village to raise a child. And so this is that part where we really reach out to our community partners. They are excited to partner with us. Some of our partners, like Mercer Street Friends, have been around for quite a long time and have done a lot of good for us and our students. So first off, so Mercer Street Friends provides a lot of services. For instance, one is a preschool where about 90 of our students attend. They also provide parenting and adult services, a food bank, food pantries as well, community schools, and last summer they did provide a summer bridge program as well. So our preschool, like I said, about 90 students, children from ages 3 to 5 years old who reside in the city of Trenton. And currently, Mercer Street Friends does have one school within our district. So parenting and adult services, and then I'll ask Mrs. Trapp if she'd like to expand on this. But parenting and our adult services. So this department serves families across the city and Mercer County, offering 5 programs: Parents as Teachers, Healthy Families, Family Support and Reunification, Family-Centered Services, and Adult Basic Education. Programs work with individuals and young families prenatally and those who have children from birth to 5 years old. This array of services includes home visiting with families, a parent-child center, a GED program, and a family reunification program that provides parenting education focused on reuniting and keeping children and their parents together. Across all the programs, dedicated and trained staff partners with individuals and families providing case management, education, and support delivered through a lens of trauma-informed care and diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Simply that. Good evening, everybody. To just elaborate a little bit on something Dr. Rodriguez just said, many of our families are referred through the Division of Children's Services or pediatricians at birth. The hospitals refer families to us. But because we have really moved to grow our community school initiative at our 3 schools, we are also connecting our families to these services. However, these services are open to any family in Mercer County or the city of Trenton that require assistance. So I do believe that Dr. Rodriguez, I have my card if anybody needs to reach out or wants to talk about ways to connect. We're always willing to work with the families across the city.
The food bank and pantries, this just expanded this year as well into MLK, into Martin Luther King School, but this is just from December, some of the statistics. So in Gregory, the food bank was open 7 days. Again, this was December, a very short month. It was open 7 days, served 72 individual families. So it wasn't the same family 72 times, but 72 individual families, and distributed over 1,300 pounds of food. The MLK Food Bank, as you're aware, just opened up in December. We had a nice big press release there and an event. It was really, really nice. Open for 2 days so far, served 11 families, and distributed over 200 pounds. So we get this update every month. We do have it as well for November, October as well. So I just fit 1 month in there, but we do serve quite a bit of families as well. So I'll have Ms. Trav come up and speak a little bit about this as well. But right now we have 3 community schools. Mercer Street Friends is at Gregory, Rivera, and MLK. I know some of the writing is a little bit small, so I apologize. But what does a community school really entail? So really, simply put, a community school is a strategy for organizing the resources of the community around student success. So simply put is how do we get all the resources around in our community and channeling them to our students and to our families. So each one of these sites does have a site coordinator that works directly with the principal in each one of these schools and the students. So up there is on the left sides, there are direct supports. So these are inside the school. Site coordinator, there's a case manager, a full-time counselor, a reading interventionist, summer bridge program at each one of the schools. There are attendance initiatives, celebrations, school-based pantries, and family resource centers, as well as indirect supports, after-school enrichment, Mill Hill Therapeutic Services. There are also health supports, dental, vision, physical, as well as youth development programming and community Saturdays.
So I'm going to start off by saying that Rivera, when it was a middle school and I was the principal there, was the first community school in Mercer County. And we are happy that we've continued this trend here in Trenton. Upon retirement, I left to go work with Mercer Street, and we have grown. So the site coordinator is actually a required position by the National Community School Coalition. However, we do much more than just provide the site coordinator. We provide a case manager at each elementary school, 2 at the middle school because it's larger. Just like everybody else, we're struggling to find somebody who speaks Spanish because MLK needs somebody who speaks Spanish. So we're in the hiring process. We struggled with finding counselors to service our students, therapists. So we're in the process of hiring our own full-time counselor who will be bilingual to help service our schools. But we do partner with Mill Hill, who does provide counseling services on site. We, as Dr. Rodriguez said, we have a reading interventionist. We had 2 wonderful celebrations last year. So we have 3 retired Trenton teachers that work at each of the elementary schools and provide reading intervention to students. They work side by side with the principal and the student and the teachers at the schools. And they're more or less an additional staff to support them however they can. We utilize the programs that we were asked to utilize. We were asked to utilize leveled literacy intervention. So we had our staff trained in that, and that's what we utilize. We just had our staff trained in DRA so that we can assess the students at the same time as the district is, making sure that everything is aligned with what you're doing. Additionally, we know attendance is problematic. It has been prior to the pandemic, exacerbated due to the pandemic. So we do our best to provide supports and initiatives at the schools to give reasons to come to school. Attendance campaigns, awards, treats. We even look at ways to support the parents by giving the parents something. We were giving out Wawa gift cards to the parents whose children had perfect attendance for the first marking period. And a lot of celebrations. Our big thing, as Dr. Rodriguez said, were the pantries. We opened a pantry at each of the 2 schools in the fall. We will open Rivera School's pantry March the 1st, we believe, is the date. We've worked with Dr. Russo on that. Our goal is parents come because they need the services. They need the food. It's a choice pantry. They come in and take what they need. They don't have a limit to how often they can come. They can come weekly if they want. But they come, they take what they need from us. But our goal is that once we get them in the door, we then are able to form a relationship of trust, and then we can start connecting them to those other services that they so greatly need, but are sometimes not sure what they need or not sure how to ask for help. So these are the things we do, as well as partnering with all these great people like Mill Hill, Henry J. Austin, Kinder Smiles, just to name a few, Task and Homefront. These are all of our partners that we work very closely with.
Thank you. And then the Summer Bridge program, it was at 2 sites at Gregory and MLK. As you can see from Gregory, 70 students. And there was growth. We can get deeper into what that means, but there were significant growth in ELA and math, as well as in MLK with 60 students. There was growth as well as in ELA and in math. The program lasted 1 month, July 5th to August 5th, so 4 weeks. And so this is just a small overview of what Mercer Street Friends. At no point is this an exhaustive list. And just like Ms. Trapp said, everything that Mercer Street Friends does is aligned to what we do in district. At no point do they veer off. They use trauma-informed care. They used LLI just like we do as well. So this is a support that works together to really build our capacity. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions or comments.
I just wanted to applaud our district and applaud Mercer Street Friends for the partnership with our district in trying to help our kids. You know, I worked a long time in the community, and I think the community has amazing resources that our kids can benefit from. And I also wanted to highlight what you said, that you don't just come in and do this. You work in partnership, and you take the time to know what it is we are working with our kids on, and you know, put that in your programming. So I really just want to thank you for the work that you're doing with us.
I also wanted to say thank you for the work and thank you for your partnership. But I had a question about the pantries. Is there a set schedule? Is it open once a week or on Fridays, or how does that work?
So yes, the pantries at each school is open twice a week. It's open one morning and one late afternoon. If there are school events, it opens for the events. Gregory has community Saturdays, so it's open every community Saturday. It's open back parent conference evenings. It's open if there's a parenting event at night. Excuse me. None of the pantry times overlap. So if a family needs something that week and they can't get to the pantry at their school, they can go to another school to the pantry. And our goal eventually is to open it to the community. But we want to take baby steps because we're not quite sure. As you can see, in the month of December, we weren't open as much as we could have been, and it was unbelievable. So we want to make sure that we don't set ourselves up for failure. So we're going slowly. We're working out the kinks, which is why we've opened them in 2 to 3 month intervals, and we've learned from each one. So yes, there is a schedule. I can certainly email Jane, if you want. I can email you the schedules of all the pantries that you can share with the board if you'd like. You know? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a quick question. Thank you again for the information. We do know that it's difficult for children to learn with their needs outside of school, right? So we understand that. So thank you again for the information, but I just had a quick question. The Summer Bridge program, what type of program is that again? I may have missed it.
So it's actually a summer program. We run Monday through Friday, full time. Students get breakfast when they come in. We have academic instruction in the morning, lunch, snack, and then enrichment in the afternoon. We hire Trenton Public School teachers as our instructors. So the principal at the school hires their teachers. They bring the kids on board, they hire their teachers. We also hire Trenton Central High School students as counselors that work alongside the teachers, and different community vendors that might have an arts program that we're interested in. And then we take a trip once a week.
And I have a second question. The 3 schools where these programs are, Gregory, Rivera, and MLK, is there a reason why you're at these specific schools? Like, are there like specialized needs at these specific schools?
No,
Okay.
Rivera started when I was the principal because there was a meeting and I went to the meeting and I expressed an interest.
Okay.
MLK came on board because when I retired, we had the different structure and 90% of MLK's students fed into Rivera Middle School. So that was a beautiful feed. We didn't want to abandon the schools just because the district restructured.
Okay.
And Gregory School really came on board prior to Principal Harris. At that time, the teachers were very vocal in the need of something in their school, and they had been former teachers of mine at another school, so they kind of went to Mercer Street themselves and advocated on behalf of themselves till Mercer Street said, okay, let's go. So, we're working closely with the district on talking about ways to expand. We don't have to be the only game in town. We're willing to work with others as a technical advisor on how they can do the work. But we do see the need to bring these services to the schools.
Okay. I just wanted to make one other comment. I'm not sure if we could have access to any type of data which would show the type of impact you're having within the schools.
So yes, I collect what we call touches data on all the things children participate in and their parents participate in. You saw just a sampling of the pantry data.
Right.
Also, we keep track of, we run different attendance initiatives, so we track that data. I track reading intervention data, as well as pre and post assessment for summer program. So you just need to let, I guess, Dr. Rodriguez know what you want, and I'll put everything together for you.
Thanks, Bernadette Trapp. Appreciate you, a retired school administrator here in the city of Trenton, Trenton Public Schools, and continue to work with Mercer Street Friends for many, many years after your retirement. Your dedication to our district and to our community is overwhelmingly supported by this board, and certainly by our community in Trenton. I see some of your colleagues. I see Bernie Flynn, I believe. Hey, Bernie, how are you? Good to see you. And your team. Your team is here. Can you introduce your team as well?
So yes, two of my team members are here because just like any other organization, we look to build from within. So we're looking to develop leadership-wise. So we have the site coordinator from Gregory Elementary School, Mr. Nigel Johnson is here, who has done a wonderful job at Gregory. And we have our coordinator of school-based pantries and family resource centers who has put this whole pantry thing together for us this year, and that is Miss Kayla Taylor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate this presentation. We appreciate the partnerships that you have been able to establish with our community. And we hope that this will spread to all other schools. And thank you to everyone who has made this possible. At this moment, I'm going to have our committee's chairs give their reports, and we'll start with my vice president here, Gerald Trueheart.
Hey. All right, thank you. In terms of our policy committee, we did not meet this particular month in January, but we plan to meet next month. We plan to look at continuing our review of our Strauss estimate review, beginning to set that up for Strauss estimate to review our overall policy. Last review we had was about 4 or 5 years ago, so we're due for another review. Strauss estimate will conduct that review. Also, we're looking to approve regulations in February from our superintendent. And then also we'd like to continue to look at the facilities policy review. We have put this on the agenda, on our committee agenda last year. Didn't get a chance to get to it, but we'd like to get to it this year. And we looked also to continue our review of our policies, both our policy and our regulations, as we continue this year, remainder of this year through June of 2024. In terms of our community engagement, happy to say that our community conversations are going very, very well. We had a committee meeting on January the 9th. We met and we had a conversation about the success that we've had the first half of the year with our community conversations in many of our schools. We also discussed that this was the first, we had a Zoom community conversation on the 17th. We had about 20 participants there, and I had an opportunity to speak with one of the participants at the MLK event at the Hyatt Regency, the CMAL Mentoring Program MLK Award, Drum Major Award ceremony. Ms. Gordon, and she was very, um, thought was very informative. She learned a lot, and she's going to take that back to her PTO at Gregory School and share information about what she learned from our business administrator, Jane Howard, and her team. Of course, the superintendent doing a great work with Jane Howard and the team in the business office on the facilities area of our 5-year strategic plan. It's a great presentation. And if you missed that presentation, I believe we did record that presentation. So there's an opportunity to take a look at that presentation. Great job by all of her team members presenting. And it had an impact because Ms. Gordon is taking that back to her PTO at Gregory School. This is one example of how this information can spread and can be shared with our community. And we're looking forward to more community conversations. That's our goal for this year as a community engagement committee, to get out into our community and share the great work of our district through our leadership team with our leader, Mr. James Earl, and getting feedback from our community, getting feedback from you, ideas, letting you know what the work that's being done. Many of the questions that are asked sometimes, Superintendent, we have this conversation is, what are you guys really doing? And this is a great opportunity for not only the senior management team, the leadership of the district, to share what's happening in the district in terms of where we are in our 5-year strategic plan. We're in our 3rd year, but also to receive feedback from our community members. And this, I believe, is going very well, and we continue to look to plan this out remainder of this year. And I believe the superintendent is also looking to continue these community conversations, not only on the 5-year strategic plan, but on other areas that may be of interest to our community. Want to learn more about our district. So you'll be able to share in those community conversations, maybe other topics of interest that you have about what's happening in our district that you want to hear about. And I'm sure superintendent will take that under advisement back to his team and then come back forth with a conversation around those particular topical areas and subjects that you may be interested in. So we're looking forward to a great future in this year. And I thank you for the time. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Perfect. On behalf of the HR committee, the report, we met last week and went over a plethora of different creations, abolishments, like things that are happening in the district, right? There are 2 things I specifically want to highlight, right? And I say this fairly often, that we really want you, community member, to be a part of the great work that we're doing here in the district, right? And a few of the things that we actually talked about, right? You know, some of the incentives to bring people in. First of all, we have a lot of help with getting people in, right? First, even if you still have 1 or 2 things that you're missing to qualify for a specific position, we're happy to bring you in, train you up so you can be ready for that position, right? I know I want to highlight the superintendent, HR director, Sherelle Toller, right, for really pushing, especially over the summer, right? And it's an ongoing conversation of getting people in the door, right? And then working with you to make sure that you can excel at the position that you're coming in. Also, we assist you with paying for your credits, continuing education, right? We always give some type of payment for that. Longevity, right? Being with the district for a period of time, give you stipends for that. Let's not forget, this wonderful thing called a pension that happens here in New Jersey, right? Always a great incentive to come not just into the district, but, throughout the state. The steps, the salary adjustments, like there's a lot of things that we have going on to continue to make sure that people can come in, can get a well-paying job, and really benefit our children here in the district. So, that's one thing I specifically want to highlight. And towards the end of the report, I also wanted to highlight this additional position, this job description that we have of walking school bus drivers, right? You saw the presentation with Mercer Street Friends. And that is one of many conversations, just like this position, where it really is community coming together and helping out our kids, right? Specifically, we're reaching out to community members, parents, right, business owners, right, those who are around in the neighborhood, right, giving them the opportunity, paid opportunity up to $25 an hour, right, to essentially walk with our kids, right? Pick them up, on various corners, right? Make sure that they get to school safely, right? Create a team in place to make sure that if something happens, along the route, they can reach out to the police or someone else that can authority figure, right? That can make sure that they're safe, right? These are specific community members who are going to lead this effort. And this is something that, again, I'm very proud of the district superintendent and a lot of other thought leaders for making something like this happen, right? It really takes all of us to come together to solve the problems that we have in our school. And I think these are some incredible ways of doing it. So some of the things I just wanted to highlight in the HR report, excited for the work that we're going to do in this year.
Thank you. We did not meet in governance, so I will pass on to Ms. Addie Lane for curriculum because we did not meet for facilities either.
So, good evening. The curriculum committee did in fact meet on Thursday, January the 18th. And at this particular meeting, we reviewed and discussed special education concerns. We talked about the extended school year, the extended school year program that's being developed to service our special needs students. We talked about the eligibility criteria being reviewed and also compensatory services that will be offered during that particular program. In addition, we talked about transition services and how they're handled for our special needs students as they look to complete their K-12 education. How do we support them in terms of transitioning out of, again, the K-12 educational setting? Additionally, we reviewed the proposals that are listed on the agenda, and many of those proposals listed support social emotional development for students as well as self-enhancement. There's also proposals for professional learning for staff. There are a number of programs that will support attendance activities. And also there was an extensive list of student study trips to museums, libraries, science centers, parks and zoos. And there was also staff travel so that staff could continue professional learning. We also discussed expanding the McGraw-Hill programming for older students in terms of literacy development. And we talked a little bit about the Trenton literacy movement and its progress and assessments. And so those are the things that we discussed at the curriculum meeting that was held again on January the 18th. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Going on to public participation. The Trenton Public School District welcomes the attendance and comments from all members of the public at its meetings. This public comment period is your time to be heard on any school or school district issue that a member of the public may feel is of concern to the residents of the school district. Each person who signed up will have 5 minutes to comment. You will be notified when your 5 minutes are up. You cannot yield your time to another person. When it is your turn to speak, please address all of your comments to the board president. Please conduct yourself in a respectful and courteous manner. For anyone whose comments or actions either harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of any person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. Also, if you curse, use vulgar language, or make personal attacks, we will provide you again with a warning or end your comment time. Comments that adhere to these guidelines will not be interrupted. If you have any questions, please ask your question during your 5-minute comment period. After the public comment period is closed, the board, superintendent, or designee will address your questions to the extent provided by the law. We also ask that members of the public not interrupt the speaker during their public comment time. At this time, I will ask that Talithia Duncan please come up.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Earl, and members of the community. I just want to address something, Austin. I loved your update. However, we don't offer longevity anymore. We have not offered longevity in over 15 years. The longevity that you see on the agenda are people that are grandfathered in. I started in 2005, and I don't have longevity, even though I've been here for 21 years. So maybe on that committee, if you think about bringing it back, we might be able to retain and attract some people because our fellow districts in the community still do have longevity for new and incoming people. All right, I'm up here to address something that I brought up last month, unfortunately. My member that I talked about last month that worked in the summer in August, she worked 20 plus hours. She has still not been paid. I have been reaching out to the individuals on the leadership team frequently to get it addressed. And I just want to talk about a conversation that was had on last week or the week before last, where I was told by an individual on the leadership team that my member would be on the board agenda this evening. My member is not on the board agenda this evening. What is on the board agenda this evening is a revision to the resolution of the grant that the member was trained for over the summer. Upon not seeing my member's name on the agenda this morning, I called an individual from the leadership team to ask why. That member told me it was definitely on the agenda. Let me go to another member on the leadership team to confirm that. That leadership team member went to the office of the other leadership team member on speaker and said, Talithia's on the phone and her member is not on the agenda. That person was adamant that it was on the agenda. And as I stated before, what is on the agenda was the revised resolution on the finance agenda. I then explained to the individual that having the grant approved on the finance agenda does not mean that my member will be paid because my member needs to be listed on the HR side of the agenda. That member then began to say things such as, do what you have to do. Grieve me then. If you're going to file a grievance, if you're going to talk about me, et cetera, do it. Now, I know we cannot identify people, but let me just clearly say, this person knows how board agendas work. This person knows that if someone is to be paid, they have to be on the HR side, and it does not matter that you put whatever you put on the finance side. I know the board members know that we have been working collaboratively. When we have issues, we try to work them out. How is it fair that my member has been owed $810 since August, and this person that makes $175,000 plus is going to say, grieve me, deal with it? I will say for one of the other member of the leadership team said to this person, that means we won't be able to put her on until February, which means my member will not receive payment for services rendered in August until March. How is that acceptable? Well, I guess when you make $175,000 plus $810 to you doesn't seem important. But for my member who has not received a raise since 2021, I think it's rude, unprofessional for that person to speak to a union leader that way and then says, grieve me, because it goes directly against what Superintendent Earl stands for, as well as what the board is saying that they want in our relationship. If you would like to know the two individuals that I was speaking to about when you guys retire to executive session, please come see me. I will be on row 2. Have a great night.
Thank you. At this moment, we will be having board member comments. Board members? In that case, I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda with superintendent's recommendations on teaching and learning, human resources, finance and facilities, and the HIB report.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, Yolanda, are we, Madam President, are we also looking to approve the previous agenda and minutes for the January 4th, 2024? Are we there yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you want to discuss something before?
No, I
Okay.
have to abstain from that, so I just want to be
Okay.
clear where we are. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Roll call?
Oh my goodness, I didn't know.
Yolanda Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart.
Yes.
Jean Bowie, absent. Denise Johnson.
Yes, Yes, I'm just abstaining from approving the minutes and agenda from the January 4th, 2024 reorganization meeting. Yes.
Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam.
Yes, but abstaining from anything related to grant school.
Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Sasa Matanya.
Yes.
Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act codified as NJSA paragraph 10:4-6 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting under certain circumstances, and whereas the Trenton Board of Education is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, is indicated as follows: any material considered confidential by federal law, state statute, or court rule, any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiations to which the board is or may become a party to, and any matter falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required to preserve the attorney-client relationship and allow the attorney to exercise his or her ethical duties as a lawyer. On the matters captioned as invoices in the amount of $1,580.50, the Trenton Housing Authority, and update on negotiations. Now therefore be it resolved by the Trenton Board of Education, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, that an executive session will be held on January 22, 2024, for the statutorily permissible purposes indicated in this resolution. Be it further resolved that action may be taken by the board when it reconvenes in open session. Be it finally resolved that the minutes of the executive session with regard to the above subject matters shall be disclosed to the public at a later date, and to the extent that the same is not prejudicial to the interests of the parties involved, no longer adverse to the public interest, or does not endanger any individual's right to privacy. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second.
Roll call. Yolanda Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart.
Yes.
Jean Bowie, absent. Denise Johnson.
Yes.
Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam. Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Sasa Matanya. Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed. We will adjourn to exec session. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
To approve the invoices, or a motion rather.
I motion to accept the invoices.
Oh.
Who's second?
I second.
Thank you. Roll call. Yolanda Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart. Jean Bowie, absent. Denise Johnson.
Yes.
Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam. Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Yes.
And Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed.
May I have a motion concerning the Trenton Housing Authority?
I motion to accept the advised MOU with Trenton Housing Authority,
Option agreement.
the option agreement with Trenton Housing Authority.
And I second.
Okay, roll call, Yolanda Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart.
Yes.
Jean Bowie absent.
Yes.
Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam. Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Sasa Montana. Abstain. Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed.
The Trenton Board of Education meeting has come to an end.
No. Approve. Approve resolution. as Trenton Board of Ed as a partner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please.
Right. Approve the board as a partner in education.
Yes, Gerald, please.
I make a motion to, to approve the education agreement with the Trenton Housing Authority.
I second.
The Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart.
Yes.
Jean Bowie absent. Denise Johnson.
Yes.
Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam. Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Sasa Montana.
Abstain.
Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Passed.
We now close this Trenton Board of Education meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
I did not quite catch that, but it was-
Yeah.
Larry was.
Well, there was so much discussion after we got.
I know, I
Yeah, that's when we
realized
started.
that we were actually going to vote on it. I thought we were going to speak to him first.
Well, I guess
That's
this
what
was
I
us
was
speaking
saying.
to him.
No, speaking to them,
Oh.
to housing authority.